Hello, and welcome back to Blue Hat Cybersec Academy. In this video, we will explore further topics from Domain 2 of the Certified in Cybersecurity exam, which is about incident response, business continuity, and disaster recovery concepts. This video isn't just for exam preparation. It's also perfect for anyone interested in building a strong foundation in the world of cybersecurity. So, we are going to discuss the following in this lesson. Components of the incident response plan, then consulting with management, and finally, incident response team. Make sure to watch till the end because these topics are the foundations of cybersecurity. And, if you haven't already, subscribe to Blue Hat Cybersec Academy. Your path to becoming a cybersecurity professional starts right here. Let's begin today's lesson by discussing the components of Incident Response Plan. The organization's vision, strategy, and mission should shape the incident response process. Procedures to implement the plan should define the technical processes, techniques, checklists, and other tools that teams will use when responding to an incident. The incident response policy should reference an incident response plan that all employees will follow, depending on their role in the process. The plan may contain several procedures and standards related to incident response. It is a living representation of an organization's incident response policy. Here are the components commonly found in an incident response plan. First of all, preparation. Preparation is the foundation of a strong incident response plan. This phase sets up everything necessary for quick and effective action when an incident occurs. Key tasks include: develop a policy approved by management. This ensures leadership is aligned and supports the response process. Identify critical data and systems. Understand which assets are essential and know your single points of failure. Train staff on incident response. Ensure everyone knows their role and can act quickly. Implement an incident response team. Designate a team that is ready to take immediate action. Practice incident identification. Prepare for first responses and know how to spot an incident early. Identify roles and responsibilities. Clearly define who does what to avoid confusion. Plan communication. Coordinate how information will flow between stakeholders, even if primary methods fail. Then it is followed by detection and analysis. Once an incident happens, the focus shifts to detection and analysis. The goal is to assess the situation and understand its scope. Monitor all possible attack vectors. Watch for suspicious activities across all systems. Analyze the incident. Use available data and threat intelligence to identify the nature of the attack. Prioritize incident response. Not all incidents are the same. Some need faster action than others. Standardize incident documentation. Keep track of every detail for both legal and operational purposes. Then containment. So, containment is all about, limiting the impact of the incident. This phase involves stopping the attack and beginning the recovery process. First, gather evidence. It's important to collect data that could be useful for investigation or even legal purposes. Next, choose an appropriate containment strategy. Implement steps to stop the attack from spreading. Then, identify the attacker. Understanding who or what is behind the attack is crucial to stopping it effectively. Finally, isolate the attack. Prevent further harm by isolating affected systems or networks. Finally, after the incident is resolved, it's time to reflect and ensure better preparedness in the future. First, identify evidence that may need to be retained. It's really important to make sure critical evidence is preserved for further investigation. Next, document lessons learned by reviewing the incident to see what went well and what, needs improvement. And finally, conduct a retrospective by looking back at the entire incident process, from preparation to recovery, and identify areas for future improvement. Now let's move to the next topic. Consulting with management. The first part of preparation is identifying the critical information that needs protection and avoiding any single point of failure. This means that if we have something particularly important, but it is protected by just one door, we create multiple layers of protection to reduce the likelihood of a successful attack. We'll talk more later about the principle of defense in depth, but think of it like a fortress. The more layers of defense we have, the more difficult it will be for attackers who are trying to break through. It's important to train staff in incident response so that everyone knows what to do. Training can include simulations and scenarios, so teams can practice their response and learn to coordinate communication among the different stakeholders of the organization. That includes colleagues, superiors, the owners of the information, and customers as well. We need to consider what types of communication will be available, because honestly, we can't communicate the same information to everyone. Some material will be confidential, and some will be useful only to certain people, and not to the press or outside individuals. When it comes to detection and analysis, we need to monitor the attack vectors, how the attack was made, and what technology was used. It's really important to standardize the incident documentation because, in a group of people, each will have their own idea of how to record activities and procedures. For the consistency of the organization and our responsibility to the data owners, we need to have a standardized incident response where each person knows exactly what needs to be done and in what sequence. This makes it easier to prioritize the response because each person has their own tasks and knows how to take care of their own responsibilities, then communicate appropriately with others concerned. Next, we need to find the appropriate containment strategy, identify the attackers and how they penetrated our defenses, and isolate the attack, making sure it does not go any further or do additional damage. After the incident, we identify evidence that may need to be retained. Then often, there is an internal audit of what occurred. External investigation may also be required, especially in major cyber attacks where law enforcement is involved. Lessons learned must be documented. Perhaps it will be found that we responded better than during a previous attack, but we still need to improve preparation or detection analysis. Often, these post-incident activities are subject to regulatory requirements, and certain documentation must be submitted. This is especially important if the compromised critical information is protected by law. Now, the final topic for this lesson, and that is the incident response team. A properly staffed and trained incident response team can be leveraged, dedicated, or a combination of the two, depending on the requirements of the organization. Many IT professionals are classified as first responders for incidents. They're the first ones on the scene and know how to differentiate typical IT problems from security incidents. They're kind of similar to medical first responders, who have the skills and knowledge to provide medical assistance at accident scenes and help get the patients to medical facilities when necessary. The medical first responders have specific training to help them determine the difference between minor and major injuries. Further, they know what to do when they come across a major injury. Similarly, IT professionals need specific training so they can determine the difference between a typical problem that needs troubleshooting and a security incident that they need to report and address at a higher level. A typical incident response team is a cross-functional group of individuals who represent the managerial, technical, and functional areas of responsibility most directly impacted by a security incident. Potential team members include the following: representatives of senior management, information security professionals, legal representatives, public affairs or communications representatives, and engineering representatives like system and network experts. Team members should have training on incident response and the organization's incident response plan. Typically, team members assist with investigating the incident, assessing the damage, collecting evidence, reporting the incident, and initiating recovery procedures. They would also participate in the remediation and lessons learned stages and help with root cause analysis. Many organizations now have a dedicated team responsible for investigating any computer security incidents that take place. These teams are commonly known as Computer Incident Response Teams, or CIRTs, or Computer Security Incident Response Teams, CSIRTs. When an incident occurs, the response team has four primary responsibilities. Determine the amount and scope of damage caused by the incident. Determine whether any confidential information was compromised during the incident. Implement any necessary recovery procedures to restore security and recover from incident-related damage, and supervise the implementation of any additional security measures necessary to improve security and prevent recurrence of the incident. That's all for now. Thanks for tuning in. Keep the momentum going by checking out the next video in the series. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to Blue Hat Cybersec Academy.